Well, first of all, welcome. We are Advanced Pain Care. We have Dr. Mark Malone here. He is our founder and owner, as well as we have Johnny, Angie, LaWanda, and Hope, and myself, Chester, the patient ambassador. Basically, what it is we're talking about our experiences with the spinal cord stimulator and how it's changed our lives. For a lot of us, it was a debilitating pain that caused us to come down this route, and we are now here. For myself, I did 24 years in the Army. Once I got out of the Army, I found Advanced Pain Care, and I found Dr. Malone. And this woman right here is my wife, LaWanda. She and I both came in and we said, go ahead, let's try it. And Dr. Malone did. And now I have been almost 6 years, no pain meds, get to play with the grandchildren.
Yeah.
I'm able to exercise, and just everything has been wonderful for myself.
Right. Now, Chester, you had mainly back pain, right?
Yes.
How did you hurt your back? I mean, you were jumping out of airplanes, right? For the Army, carrying heavy loads and...
Definitely.
Yeah.
For me, it was a thing of, like you said, jumping out of airplanes, rappelling out of helicopters. 18 years as an infantry soldier, it was pretty bad for my body. But, you know, it all was for a good cause for the military.
Sure.
However, my wife would come in, she would look at me, she'd say, okay, so you're hurting, you're tired, and then it would be pain pills or 17 years of injections, you know, and I'm quite sure you guys know how that feels as well.
Yeah.
But then once we got the stimulator, the stimulator just changed everything.
Yeah.
No more pain meds, no more injections, everything is just fine now.
And you had back surgery.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Before we went to the stimulator, you had back surgery. And did the back surgery help you?
Unfortunately, no.
It did not?
No.
Okay.
No.
Wow. Well, you had a very similar story to me. I'm very similar to that. In fact, I got my stimulator right after you got yours.
Yes.
You know, I helped put yours in, and then I said, man, this is working so good for so many of my patients. I had mine done too. My story started about 12 or 13 years ago. I was a busy pain doctor treating pain patients, and one day I lifted something heavy, felt a pop in my back, and just fell to the ground, and I couldn't get off the ground for about 3 hours, and I knew I had probably ruptured a disc in my lumbar spine, and things were never the same after that. I had extreme pain. I actually went out on disability for an entire year. I was on pain medicines, morphine, hydrocodone, all that stuff, got the injections, ended up with 2 back surgeries, which, just like you, it didn't help my pain at all.
Right.
In fact, it made it a little bit worse. But finally, I was clawing my way back into life and trying to work half days, and I had a couch in my office so that I'd go see a couple of patients and come back and lay on the couch.
I remember that, yes.
I'd dictate my notes laying on the couch, and people would bring me coffee and stuff. And but finally, about 7 years ago, the new stimulators came out, and these stimulators were about 100 times better at controlling back pain and nerve damage pain. A lot of us have nerve damage.
Yes.
And it was like a miracle. And we were using these on patients like you and me. And then one day I said, that's it, I'm getting one too. And so Dr. Mashad, one of our doctors, put mine in, and immediately it was like my pain had never happened. I was completely back to normal. I could work a full day and still go out to dinner, and I'm just so happy, that it's working.
Yes, definitely.
So our job is to tell as many people as we can.
Yes.
Now we're here today with there's 6 of us sitting around talking about our stimulators and how it's working for us, and how wonderful it is that we essentially have cured this chronic pain problem that we all had. It's almost like a rebirth, like you survived some horrible disease and now you can go about your life.
Yes. Yeah.
Why don't we, this is Hope, everybody. Hope, you have a stimulator.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what led you to this?
So I got in a car accident when I was 7 months pregnant, and ended up having my daughter, and ended up having to have my SI joints fused. and they fused both sides, and the right side failed, so I had it refused. So I have 12 metal rods in my pelvis, and it hurt all the time. It just bothered me, and they just said, you need more surgery. I'm like, I do not want any more surgery.
Wow.
So I was seeing Dr. Yaw over at Cedar Park, and he recommended the Stimulator. And so I ended up getting the paddle stimulator, and Dr. Harper put it in, and it has just been amazing. Just changed my life. I'm in real estate, so I got to be in and out of the car, walking,
Definitely.
and with it just really changed my. I spent several months not working either, and I got it. It was just amazing. I actually rode a bike this weekend for the first time in probably 20 years.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
Yes.
Congrats.
It wasn't very far, but I did ride it.
It's a start.
It was a start.
It's a start.
That's pretty good.
And the whole adage, you always remember how to ride a bike, it's not true. At least for me.
Oh, you have to start over.
Yes.
Well,
But it's been amazing. I love it, and it helps. Even when I had a recent ankle break and I used it, I would turn it up and it would help with the surgery pain after that. So
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I've been able to use it not only for my back, but other things as well.
Yeah.
So it's been
Okay.
truly helpful.
I understand you've seen other doctors at Advanced Pain Care.
Yes, I've seen a lot.
So you saw Dr. Ya and you saw Dr. Harper, the neurosurgeon.
Yes.
And then did you see our orthopedic
I
doctor?
did. Dr. Robin did my ankle surgery when I broke it back in November.
Oh, goodness.
And so I
Is it kind of nice to have everything under
It
one
is
roof?
amazing
Yes.
to have everything under one roof.
Yeah.
You just, when you deal with chronic pain and issues, a lot of times people don't take you seriously. They just are like,
So
here's some
true.
medicine, go home.
Yeah.
It's all in your head,
Yeah.
And so, and when you go to your regular primary, and then you go see an orthopedic or a pain doctor, they don't know any of your stuff.
Right.
So they don't know how to prescribe you
Yeah.
the right medication.
And they don't communicate.
They don't.
Right? They don't have time. So
They absolutely don't.
Yeah.
Even if you get your records sent, they don't look at them.
Right.
But at Advanced Pain Care, everything's in one place. They can
Yes.
pull open your records. They can send a quick instant message to one of your other doctors to
Yeah.
ask them a question to make sure everything, so when you do have something like an ankle surgery that's out of the norm and you need at that time, to be treated, they'll make sure all your medicine is in line for your surgery and that everything's good. And you get your surgery right in Round Rock
Yeah.
at the surgery center.
Yeah.
And that place is amazing. The staff are amazing. They're friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone there is great.
Yeah.
You're in and out. It's not like
Yeah.
you're just sitting there all day.
Yeah.
And so I feel like partly it's my home.
Yeah,
There.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. And we even have our own pharmacy,
We
so
do.
there's no confusion about what medicine you can get or what medicine you're on
Absolutely.
or what medicine is, available even. Whereas if you just go to outside pharmacies, they're like, well, we don't have that. Or we
You're
only give you
exactly
7 days worth, that
Mhm.
type of stuff.
Right.
So you don't have to deal with that.
That's right. They never have, and I don't think I've ever been to Advanced where they've said, we're going to have to order that. We'll
Yeah.
get it tomorrow.
Right.
Great.
They always have stuff on.
Because they already
stock.
know before you get there that this is what you are on or this is
Right.
what you need. So they're planning
They are.
in advance. So that's right.
Yeah, you and their app's amazing. You can look at it and it says in process,
Yeah.
field, so you know
Yeah.
when to go pick it up
Uh,
and everything.
well,
So
I'm proud of
Yes.
I'm proud of our crew. They're doing a great job.
they're
Yeah.
doing amazing. There's not one doctor, nurse, anyone that I've seen that hasn't just been amazing, helpful, compassionate, and you
No.
just don't find that nowadays. I
Yeah.
mean, when I first had my back injury and after my surgeries, they sent me to pain care, and I wasn't at Advanced, and the place there was just, they didn't care. They were just
Yeah.
pushing medicine and
Just handing out
yeah.
pills.
And when I moved, I was like, this is amazing. They actually want to fix me. They
Wow.
don't just want to mask the problem.
That's so
So,
great to hear.
yes.
That's so great to hear. We deserve it, right?
You deserve
Yes.
it. You absolutely do.
We all
You've
do.
built, yes.
Wow.
And I mean, even all the patients, like you might see some of the same people, and when you're at your appointment, and they're
Yeah.
all super friendly, they're
Yeah.
happy to be there.
Yeah.
Nobody's complaining about
Now that's
wait
unusual,
times. Right?
You go
yes.
to a pain clinic. Normally, everybody's unhappy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They're
Right.
having a bad
Yes.
day.
Yes.
Right?
Everyone's rushing back there.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Dr. Yar or Jennifer.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy to be there.
Yes.
Awesome. LaWanda, you had a dramatic experience. Didn't you fall down some stairs or
I
something?
did 28 plus years ago.
Oh,
I
my
was
God.
carrying our second child,
Oh my God.
and I fell down some stairs. And they said it wasn't a break, that it was just a strain. And from there, I think it became a break. And constantly throughout the years, it'll be up and down, and they just throw me in a boot, throw me some medicine, just like she said, and
Yeah.
send me on my way. Or I'd go, and they'd look at me and say, hey, there's nothing wrong. We don't see anything. There's a small tear, but put the boot on, let's wear it for half a year, take meds, and you're fine. As the years went on, I finally had surgery on my foot and my ankle in 2020. And they thought they fixed it.
Yeah.
It just kind of made it worse because
Yeah.
the nerve pain that I got just made it difficult to walk.
Yeah.
And it was like the pain itself was like electricity shooting down my leg.
Oh my God.
And he said, well, you're just going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, this isn't an option because we're very busy. Like he said, we very busy family, have grandkids, they're constantly under me, and I'm still working.
They sure are.
Couldn't do that.
Wow.
So we finally talked about getting the DRG with a lot of the staff here, and I was nervous, and I was thinking, well, this doctor said he can't help me, sure, this is not going to work for me. Well, I got the trial in 2021, and I didn't want to give it back
Yeah.
because I limped in and walked out painful.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I surely don't have to give this back. And he's like, it's just a trial. It's
Yeah.
like, but do I have to give it back?
Oh, God.
Because I hadn't felt that relief in so many years.
Wow.
And that was just, the quality of life was just amazing. You know, I was at work, I'm running around with the kids on the playground, or I'm running around with our own grandkids.
Yeah.
Just doing stuff we hadn't done before, hadn't done in a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So I got my permanent a day before my birthday last year. Best birthday present ever.
Oh, that's so great.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I don't have any pain from that. No more nerve pain. No more falling.
Oh my God.
Because I was constantly on the ground. Just
Yeah. Now, I saw your ankle. It was the size of a big pineapple.
It was.
You were walking around with this big, swollen pineapple on your foot.
It was.
And then you got your stimulator, and the swelling went away.
It went away.
That's
They
amazing.
actually had told me I was going to swell like that for the rest of my life.
Oh
And
my God.
I was sitting up saying, well, I don't. And he says, well, maybe you're just one of those people who's just going to swell.
Oh my
And I was thinking, you've got to be kidding me. I'm falling, I'm swelling, and I'm not even old yet. But, but the DRG seemed to have fixed all of that. No more nerve pain.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. I look down at my feet a lot of times and I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah.
And I think back to that, even some of the old pictures, I look at them and I'm thinking, that was just the best thing ever. So I thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I
I'm
thank
so
the whole
glad.
staff because
Yeah.
without that, I probably would be sitting at home.
How many years did you have this? 28 years, did you say?
28 years ago is when
Wow.
I fell down those stairs.
Wow. And you had chronic pain all those years.
All that time because
Swollen.
him being in the military, somebody had to hold down the
Sure.
home front.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had to keep going. The kids were active. When I had to stay active,
Yeah.
still supporting him.
Wow.
And I just would throw that boot on when they tell me to. They throw me some meds, and I keep it going.
Amazing.
But as time went on, it just got worse and worse.
Now, not everybody knows what a DRG is. That's a dorsal root ganglion. That's what it stands for. And it's a new type, or fairly new type of stimulator that targets especially peripheral nerves like yours. You had some nerve damage in your foot and ankle. And the DRG is very good at targeting these peripheral nerves. And so that's why we went with the DRG for your case. And highly successful. You know, I'm really happy that it works.
Me too. I'm so happy that it works, and I hope it continues to work. I only think I had to have 2 adjustments the whole time. And I turned it on, and I don't even think about it anymore.
So it's been over a year now.
Yeah.
You're back to normal. You're wearing normal size shoes and boots.
Yeah.
You don't
I
need
can
2
even wear
different
my heels again, because I had thought, okay, I'm just going to donate all my heels, but
You can wear high heels. You can dance, right? That's amazing. Good job. That's awesome.
It is amazing.
Wow. Who else wants to tell their story?
Well, mine was very similar to yours with the nerve pain in the leg. I never really had back pain. I would always say, it's not my back, it's my hip. If you could just fix my hip, I would be fine.
Yeah.
Just take this right leg off and I'm good.
Golly.
I just don't need this leg.
Wow.
And so they kept treating with like nerve type medicine, the Lyricas and that type of medicine.
Yeah.
But those ones, every time you treat the nerve, it slows the brain.
Yeah.
And so my job is very much where you need your memory, you need to be able to function with all of your capabilities. Like you have to be able to think fast, you have to be able to negotiate, you have to know what you're doing. And so I finally came to a point, you know, after, 7 years of taking meds and struggling with my back, not really being able to walk well. I fell a lot because my right foot would fall. It would drop all the time. I had a lot of problems with incontinence just because that nerve was being smushed so badly. I had 3 previous lumbar surgeries. They started by just trying to do the discectomy, laminectomy, and then, oops, the vertebra collapsed, and now it's sitting on the nerve. So now we have to go back in and put the cage and the screws in. But don't worry, this will be the last one. We'll fix it all up. Well, then now 4 falls. Well, oops, this will be the last one. We just have to open that up, and then you'll be better. And so finally I was like, no more. Like, you're not going in there again. I don't want any more surgeries. I don't want anything else. And I finally came to a terms, and I spoke to my other half at the time, and I said, I'm going to be a Walmart greeter. That's what I'm subject
Sit
to
down.
do.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit at Walmart, and I'm going to say hello to people, and that's my future. I'm just going to go on like partial disability, wave to people, and I'm done. Surgery is no longer in my future. I can't stand next to a bed. It was initially, I had a larger patient go to roll over in the bed, and instinct is to catch him.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
When I went to scoop to catch him, my back snapped,
Ouch.
and the disc blew.
Oh my God.
And so from that point on, it just hadn't been the same. Well, he had said, your pain doctor keeps telling you about the stimulator. Just try it.
Yeah.
Just try it. What do you have to lose?
Right.
Like before you quit your job and you give up everything, just try it. And I was like, but I can't imagine feeling that tingly feeling all the time. Like, that just doesn't sound fun to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, but he says you won't feel that. He said you don't feel that tingly feeling, that it just works in your brain. And being a really logical person, I have to put 1 and 1 together to make it make sense, or it doesn't work for me. So I kept trying to figure it out. I still can't figure it out, but that night I walked for the first time in 7 years.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yes.
And I was like,
yes.
I don't know why this is working. I can't figure it out. But I broke every rule they told me not to break. They said, don't stop your nerve medicine, take your pain meds, don't do this, don't do that. And I stopped it all because I was like, I want to know if this thing's really working or if it's still my meds covering up.
Wow.
So I did the opposite of what they told me, stop the meds, which I don't necessarily recommend, but I wanted to know if it was really going to work or if it was still my meds covering it. And so I had stopped those before it, and I was just like you. I was begging them, don't take this out.
No.
Can't you just
Keep it.
tuck it in there? And I had originally told him, I'm like, well, I can't have surgery for at least another 6 months after the trial because of work and everything. So I was like, we can do it next Tuesday. Can you implant it next Tuesday, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't want to start taking these meds again now that I've weaned off of them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
please don't make me take the meds again.
Right.
Right.
This is
Yes.
working. I walked around the block. I don't care that I haven't showered and smell bad. I went to the mall. I'm like ready to go. Put this thing in.
Wow.
And so we did the surgery the next week. I had the battery replaced about a year ago now, and I absolutely love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was so apprehensive about the Tingles program on it, and now I'm
Right.
one of the biggest advocates for Tingles.
Right.
If
It
you
used to
start to
be like
have,
your stimulator would be there and someone picks it up and you go, no, don't touch that. And then you realize, oh, wait, this is great.
Keep it.
Touch it. It's working.
Go for it.
yeah.
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 And now if I'm having, like, if the front comes through, because I still have hardware in my back. The stimulator didn't remove the hardware.
Yeah.
But that's what the Tingles is for. If I'm having a
Right.
bad day because the front comes in or the metal is giving me problems or I slept poorly or something like that, when I'm sitting at my desk, I can turn the Tingles on.
Yeah.
And it
Mhm.
does that little bit of taking the edge off,
Yeah.
so I don't need anything
Yeah.
else. I can use it
That's nice.
when I need it
Yeah.
to take that edge off.
Exactly.
And then I don't have to rely on anything else.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying it was an easy road. It took a little bit, but after feeling nerve pain, the incision, that was
Right.
nothing.
Wow.
Like,
Yep.
you can deal with incisional pain day
Sure.
and
Oh
night.
yes.
I mean, anyone who struggled with nerve pain will tell you,
Yeah.
like having the implant done, that was
It's
nothing.
nothing.
It was
Right.
That was nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you can deal with that. That's like getting paper cut.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yes.
implant away.
Mhm.
Right.
That's easy.
Right. Well, you refer to the tingles. Not everybody knows what that means, but there's two modes, right? And one is
Yeah.
a mode, I call it, it's visible, where you can feel the actual electricity tingling in the parts of your body where the pain was.
Mm-hmm.
And then the silent mode, which you can't feel the tingling,
Yeah.
but the pain is gone too.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
just from talking to people, talking to our patients, about 80% of them prefer the silent mode. They say it's less distracting. But people like you say, well, on bad days, I like to turn on the tingles
That's what I do.
because it feels good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other thing that I found is because it is in my spine and you do move, that sometimes when I turn on tingles, I can find my better positions.
Yeah.
And then when I put it back on silent, I know that, hey, if I sit this way, I'm getting
Yes.
better connectivity.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
If I cross my legs like this, I'm
Yeah.
shutting it off.
Yeah.
Like I'm turning off my signal. So
Ah,
if I turn it on tingles, I can find my
You can
best
feel it.
position.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's
And
good.
then when I go back to silent,
Yeah.
I go, oh, okay.
Feel
And
good.
now I'm
Yeah.
just gonna sit like this and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you are controlling it by how you move, how
Yeah.
you bend.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know, and then every now and then I'll shut it off just to see if the pain's still there because you do sometimes think, well, maybe I'm just magically healed.
Yeah.
But you shut it off for 30 minutes and you go, no.
Oh, here it comes.
I guess
Here it
it's still
comes.
here.
I remember now, right? You like to use the Tingles program, right, Chester?
I use it. Yes, it's pretty much like she does. Whenever I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
For example, if I've been out fishing or hunting, or my favorite one is the dune buggy.
Yeah.
I go out there and I get a little rough or I get a little aggressive.
Yeah.
I'll come back, I'm a little sore. Like Angie said, I'll just grab my remote control, turn the tingles on, sit down for a little while, maybe drink a bottle of water,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm good to go. I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'll put it back on the silent program and go about my day.
Yeah.
You know, versus taking a pain pill,
Yeah.
which the tingles will help me in about 5 minutes, maybe, if not sooner.
Yeah.
Taking a pain pill for some people, 45 minutes
Yeah.
or
Takes a
more.
while,
And it only takes the edge off for them.
Yeah.
Versus that tingle program takes it all away for me and puts me back
Yeah.
at a zero, basically.
Yeah. Now, I hope you use the Tingles program,
Yes,
right?
and I have a story about that. So during COVID, I got some news that I had some precancerous cells in my esophagus, and I needed to have this major surgery to reconstruct my,
Esophagus?
they called it a gastric reconstruction.
Oh.
Yes, so that it would prevent, because the cells don't go away, but they
Yeah.
will, you don't want them to get worse. So
Yeah.
they wanted to do the surgery. And so after it, I dealt with over and over where when I would eat, I would get horrible stomach aches.
Oh, goodness.
And my stimulator's at the L7, which is right about where kind of your stomach sits.
Yeah.
And I would turn it on tingles, and it would literally take that pain away.
Wow.
And it was a major surgery. I was there 3 days before I
Wow.
came home, and it saved me. It literally saved me after that surgery.
Wow, that's
so,
really impressive. That's great.
And I had, so I think there can be lots more uses for it than just back pain or
Yeah.
leg pain.
Yeah.
Because it did save me during that time. For
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Well, that's great. That's great news. We are using it more for different kinds of pain, including internal and headaches. We're getting a lot of great results with headache patients, people with chronic headaches, and these are debilitating headaches. Can you imagine? I don't have headaches. Do any of you have?
Yes.
Do you have some headaches? Well, we can put little leads across the occipital nerves and do the same thing for a headache that we can do for your back pain. So we're doing more and more of that, but we're finding new uses for these stimulator.
My daughter gets migraines.
Oh,
And I think that would be amazing.
yeah,
Mhm.
Because once they start, I mean,
it knocks
it's
you
like
out, right?
that.
Right.
You
Yeah,
can't,
you're done.
you're done for a whole day, sometimes more than one day, sometimes many days. You're in bed with the lights off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't tolerate light, you can't get up, and it's pretty bad for some people. Johnny, what happened to you? Did you how did you come and get a stimulator?
About 4 years ago, I took a bad fall, and I landed on our fireplace at the house is raised, and I landed on that and fractured 3 bones in my back.
Oh,
God darn.
And
man.
so, what ended up happening is they sent me to an endocrinologist because they said, well, you're 40 years old. I think I was 39 or 40 at the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
They said, you shouldn't be breaking bones, just falling down, on the floor,
Right.
not this bad.
Sure.
And so after I went to the endocrinologist, I found out that I had bone loss, severe bone loss.
Yeah.
And so that was a big part of it. And I had gone to speak to a surgeon that my uncle had used that worked on his back.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, from there, he told me, hey, we can't put any rods or screws or anything in you because they'll just fall out because
Wow.
you're bone loss.
Oh, wow.
And so for 3 years, I, just lived with being in pain at a level 10 pretty much every day.
Oh, yeah.
And then I started here. And on my second day here, I met this wonderful guy. And we just started chatting, and he told me his story, and I told him, mine.
Yeah.
And he said, hang on just a second. And then he went and he spoke with Josephine, one of our navigators, and
Yeah.
I think maybe a day or two later,
Yeah.
I was in touch with Josephine and with Dr. Adams, and from there, because I tried injections as well,
Yes.
and that never took,
Didn't help you.
No.
Okay.
didn't help. So, but yeah, within, I would say, a month,
Yes.
I was then getting a stimulator,
Oh man, that's good.
and the pain level, sitting at a 10 every single day,
Yeah.
was down to a 0 when I wake up.
Wow.
Maybe it gets to a 3 at the most.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
What a great. Yeah. That's a new lease on life.
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's life-changing.
Well, so you got a job here, not knowing that what we really do yet. You
I've seen
quickly,
them on commercials.
yeah,
I've
you've
on
seen
commercials.
Chester on
I've seen
TV.
them on commercials, but
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
didn't have a
Right.
great grasp on everything, but just so happened I was second day of training, I met him, and
Wow. And what do you do here, Johnny? You.
well, I was in patient access up until about 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and so I took a lot of patient calls,
A lot of
everything.
phone calls,
a
yeah.
lot of phone calls,
Uh-huh.
and recently I transferred over to insurance verification, so
Okay.
I'm training on
Yeah.
that right now.
All right. Well, great. Well, great. And you got to meet one of the navigators. So did y'all have experience with the navigators?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So these are our people. They're kind of like our angels. They are care coordinators. So in today's world with insurance and everything, there's so many hoops you have to jump through to get your MRI, to get your laboratory, to get all the things that you need. And it's very daunting to have to do that on your own. I mean, I wouldn't even want to do it myself, But so we have a navigator who's like that's her job is to jump through those hoops with you and get you through the steps that you need. And it really helps you get through all of those steps where you can get what you need.
Yeah.
Right.
In a lot of cases, what I've seen with the navigators is when they'll sit down with the patient will tell them everything about their history.
Yeah.
Navigator will take it from there, and all the patient has to do is wait for the phone call.
Yeah.
That's
right.
how my experience was.
Yeah.
I didn't have to really do any of the legwork.
Right.
I just kind of waited for the call.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
we have you all set now. This is where you're at. This is what I'm going to be working on next, and next.
Yeah.
This is what you're to expect.
Right.
This
Right.
is the day I need you to be here.
That's
This
the way
is
it
what-
is.
It's like you're a manager.
Right. Yeah,
Like you have a manager that's going to manage this process for you,
exactly.
which, insurance is very, they play their game, and their game is to not pay for anything. That's their game.
Yes.
Sorry, but that's how it is. And you really need someone to help you jump through all those barriers that they put in your way, because they don't want you to get a stimulator, because that costs them money. I hate to say it, but that's
Which
true.
is so silly
They'll
because
probably
my
have me
surgery
assassinated.
had to have cost a lot more than my stimulator.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yes.
And if I would have went the route of the stimulator to begin with, I feel like I would have been so much better off.
Oh my, sure, right?
Hindsight.
Yeah, if you could have gotten that stimulator before you got that surgery,
Oh,
it would have saved you a lot of pain and trouble, right?
yes, a ton. I mean, if I could go back,
Me too. I mean, I could go back in time and
Right.
not get the surgery. That would have saved me a lot of pain and suffering.
yes,
Right.
years.
Yes. Right.
So now you're running around advanced pain care, just taking care of this, taking care of that.
Yes, but, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
if I didn't see what an amazing organization it was
Yeah.
as a patient prior to becoming an employee.
Exactly.
What do you do at Advanced Pain Care?
Purchasing.
Purchasing. Okay.
So I work with Ganesh.
Oh yeah. So that's a big job.
Huge job.
We have to purchase supplies,
Everything.
equipment, everything.
Yes.
Desks and chairs. I mean, yeah.
And
Yeah.
now that we're opening up surgery centers and Killeen
Sure.
and other places in
Right.
the future,
Right.
Yes.
yeah, you guys got your hands pretty full.
We do.
Yeah.
We do, because you name it, from the tile on the floor to the ceiling tiles,
Exactly.
and
Yes.
everything in between.
Yeah.
It all comes from somewhere.
Right. Right. Well, that's some great stories. We have a few questions that Chester put together because these are some of the questions that are often asked
Yes.
at our meetings, our lunch and learns, and patients are always asking some of the same questions. One is a spinal cord stimulator safe? What do y'all think? I'm the doctor. I could give you my opinion, but what do y'all? So far,
I think it's a lot safer than surgery.
oh yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I mean,
Safer than surgery, safer than the pain medication.
Yeah.
safer than any other alternative. I mean, I
Right.
can't think of any part of it that would be unsafe.
No, because there's no medication involved with it, so therefore it is not destroying our insides.
Yeah.
From the doctor's point of view, what is it, the liver and
Oh yeah, the liver, the kidneys, the GI tract are all sensitive to almost any of the medicines that we have. And then, of course, your central nervous system is sensitive to all of these medicines. And like you said, if you take too much, Lyrica, it dulls the senses, it dulls your cognition. Opioids dull the cognition, they make you tired, they make you constipated. I mean, all of the medicines have side effects. Some of them are really bad.
right.
So I think the stimulator is the safest alternative there is for this pain.
I agree.
Can I get an MRI with a stimulator?
Yes.
Yes. Now,
Yes.
going forward, almost all stimulators are completely MRI compatible, so yes, you could get MRIs. Is a stimulator covered by insurance? Yes, that's very important because they're expensive. I mean, a stimulator, if you were to cash pay a stimulator, it's like $20,000 because it's a complicated little computer that you implant in your body. Every insurance pays for it. Medicare loves it because there's a study out that shows that a stimulator is more cost effective than chronic medication. Because the medication costs money too. It's very expensive. So yeah, stimulators are covered by insurance, and that's key because a lot of us couldn't afford one without insurance.
Exactly.
Can you feel it? We were just talking about the tingles. You can feel it when you want to, but you can turn it. You can turn that sensation off.
Yeah.
You can forget you have it if you want to.
You can
Right.
forget about it if you want to. Right. What's the stimulator recovery time and restrictions? Well, that's a great. So it comes in two parts. There's the trial. I know I'm preaching to the choir. You all know. The trial is we put temporary wires in your back, and the battery is taped to your skin, and you go home for about 5 or 6 days and try it out. And if it works for you, then you come back in and we implant it a couple weeks later. During the trial, we ask that you keep it dry, so no showers for the 5 days, a sponge bath. And as far as restrictions, no violent, I wouldn't play basketball or football, but normal activity is fine. Normal day-to-day activity is fine. And then the implant, you come back in 2 or 3 weeks later, we put the permanent in. Again, we keep it dry for the first few days. Limit your, violent activity, no wrestling, for a few weeks. Right, Chester? You'd be the one, because you're wrestling with the kids.
Yes. And then another person who had to calm down, somebody was trying to tap dance and regular dance a few
I did.
hours
A
after.
few
did.
hours of tap dancing on a swollen foot.
Oh, it was just a plaything. It was safe. I didn't fall, but I had to test it out.
Yeah, sure.
Make sure it was solid.
All
I think I
right.
remember they told me not to lift anything over
Really
like
heavy,
the
5-10 pounds.
like the more
gallon
than
of
like
milk.
a gallon of milk. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly what they said.
Nothing.
hmm
Right.
But as far as everything else, I still was able to go back to work, and
Yeah.
within just a few days of
Right.
the trial, I immediately was like working.
Yeah.
But after the implant, I think like 3 days, and then I was back at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the main thing was they just didn't want the leads to migrate at all. They want
Right,
everything,
right.
so no
Yes.
real big
Right.
bending, like don't start toe touches right after.
Oh, right,
Right,
right.
right.
Which I guarantee you weren't doing toe touches before.
Right.
So, I don't think
I know one
something to
thing
start right
for
after.
mine was, we did mine on a Thursday, my permanent. And then I came in because one of the things, as we all know, is advanced pain care will bring you back in. They'll do a wound check. They want to make sure that you're good to go. So mine was at 8 o'clock that morning, that Monday morning. By 9 o'clock, my wife and I were on the road, 14-hour drive, going back to Kentucky to see my mom.
Oh,
And
my
we
God.
hadn't done that in years.
A 14-hour road trip. Now, for someone with chronic back pain, that's almost impossible, right?
Right.
I could
Oh.
barely 10, maybe 15 minutes
Oh, God,
prior to that.
I know. My wife used to have to drive me to my doctor's appointments laying down in the back of our Suburban because I couldn't even sit in a chair. And when I got to the doctor's office, I would lay on the floor in the waiting room. That's how
Wow.
bad. And everyone was like, "What is wrong with that dude?"
Right.
My back's killing me. That's what's wrong.
Yeah. Mhm.
So even in a pain clinic, I was one of the worst pain patients. So.
Yeah.
But now, I don't lie on anybody's floor except my own.
Right.
Now you're only out there scuba diving,
Yeah.
skiing, surfing.
Wake surfing, which is
Mhm.
what everybody's doing now. I have a lot of fun. So, how long? Oh, so I've tried everything else for my pain. Why should I try a spinal cord stimulator? That's a great question. A lot of our patients are burned out. They've tried surgery. They've been on medication for years. They've tried all the injections. They've tried chiropractic. They've tried everything. They've been lied to.
Yes.
They've been misinformed. A lot of times the doctors aren't intentionally lying to you. They're just like, look, I think this will help you, right? So they're trying. But nothing has worked because you have chronic nerve damage, you have chronic pain. There's really no way to undo nerve damage like this. But Stimulator is the greatest revolution in the history of nerve damage because it can block all of that nerve damage. A little bit like noise-canceling headphones cancel the noise out before it gets to your brain. That's how Stimulator works. It cancels the pain signal so that the nerves aren't any different, but their pain signal isn't getting to the brain. So that's how this works. So that's why I think you should try it. If you're out there suffering with chronic nerve damage following a car wreck, sports injury, or surgery, or whatever happened to you, falling down the stairs, whatever happened to you, breaking 3 bones in your back, 3 back surgeries later, whatever. The stimulator can block all of that,
Yes.
almost like it never happened. So it's like rewriting history.
Dr. Malone, I had mine. I'm not able to take Percocet or hydrocodone
Right.
because it made me very sick.
Oh, yeah.
So for the entire time,
Yeah.
even Tylenol and aspirin made me sick.
Oh, my God.
So I had no
Yeah.
relief at all.
Oh, my God.
And so until I had that, it's just,
So
it's a life thing.
a lot of people can't tolerate pain
Yeah.
medicine. It's very true. Or the side effects can be pretty bad. So,
Without the surgery, the injections working,
Yeah.
and no painkillers. I was out of options.
you were just laying in
Wow.
bed, right? Just waiting for the
I would go to work and I'd come home and I'd just fall down on the couch because I couldn't stand.
Yeah, I remember. I was like that.
Oh.
I remember those days. How long does the stimulator last? I've had mine in for 7 years. It's still working great. Chester had almost 7 years. Then you changed your battery,
I changed my battery,
right?
but that was actually because of I don't want to say a charging burden.
Yeah.
It was my own fault. I was forgetting to charge because there's some systems that you charge and there's some systems that you don't. A lot of us have a mixture of both. And my wife was kind of also making fun of me because if I would forget to charge, then the battery would go dead and my pain would come back.
Yeah.
So therefore, I switched over to the non-chargeable,
Yeah.
and I'm still going, but my battery would have probably lasted 7 or 8 years prior to.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I like mine, and now I don't get teased.
Because you don't have to charge it.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So they can last 7 or 8 years easy.
Easy,
sometimes.
yes.
I mean, I would say to someone who asked me, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose. It's
Right.
easy.
Except your pain.
It's, right, it's easy in, and if worst case is, it's easy out
Right.
if it didn't work.
Sure.
But why not? I mean,
Exactly.
Why not
you
do
know,
it?
yeah,
Mhm.
You've got insurance anyway. It'll pay for most of it.
right.
It's not a big financial commitment. All you have to do is give it a try.
And the only thing you have to lose is your pain,
That's right.
Right.
That's right. That's
and possibly pain meds.
Get rid of the payments. But that's it. So if you get this, you don't have to give up your pain meds. Some
Right.
people say, "Well, my pain meds still help me." So a lot of people continue to take some pain meds, but not as much. It just depends. Some people don't want any medicine though, which
Right.
because of the side effects. So basically, it's up to you. If you still want some medicine, you can keep it, but you don't have to. Will I be totally pain-free with a stimulator? What do you think, Hope? Will you be totally pain-free?
No, I don't think I'll ever be totally pain-free, but I'm definitely way, way better position than I ever was before.
Can you put a number on it? What percentage?
Oh, I would say 95%
Same here,
better, yes.
I'm 95%. Chester, are you 95%?
95%.
LaWanda, what?
Mine's 97. Right
97.
off
There you
that.
go.
So that was like, I don't feel that pain
Yeah.
anymore. Other pain, yeah,
You can
and I
feel
can
it.
deal with that.
Yeah,
But that nerve pain,
that nerve is gone, right?
Yeah,
That
that's-
pain. All right.
completely gone.
Angie, what about you?
Mine's probably between 90 and 95%.
Awesome. Awesome. Johnny, what about you?
I'd say 95.
95%. That's awesome.
It's kind of like you described at one time,
Yeah.
where it's going to cancel out the main pain,
Yeah.
but there's still going to be a little
Little
distraction.
pieces here and there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And can you re-injure your back? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Re-injure your back. You're not numb. If you
That's a good
go out
point.
there and,
Right.
and lift 250 pounds, you can re-injure your back.
Mhm.
And it will hurt. But that chronic nerve damage pain that you were suffering from, that's gone.
Yes.
I may get a twinge if I decide to just take off in a dead sprint behind one of the grandkids. That's like I might say 97. Otherwise, good.
Good. Awesome. That's wonderful. Will Stimulator allow me to be free of pain medicines? We talked about that. Most people can be completely free of pain medicine. Some people still have a little bit of pain medicine, but it just kind of depends.
Mhm.
It's really up to you. Can one stimulator system help me manage pain in more than one area? Well, that's a great question. What I always tell patients is one stimulator can manage you everything from about the upper waist down, or the upper waist up. So if you had severe neck pain and severe low back pain, you might need two systems. And if you do, I always tell patients, let's do the worst one first. And then if the other part of your body is still bothering you, we can do a second system.
Yes.
But most people, just one system is all you would need. And do I use my stimulator system 24 hours a day? Yes.
Yes.
Right? You mostly just keep it on and forget about it. Mine's been on 24/7 for 7 years, and I've never turned it off.
Kind of like Angie said, sometimes she'll turn hers off just to check,
Just to see what it's like.
and then she regrets it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, is it still, do I still need it?
Yes, that's a
Because
question.
every now and then I'm like, I feel like I just healed.
Yeah, I'm
Because you
I'm there.
forget it's really there.
You
Yeah.
do forget
Because you
it.
don't feel anything.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Which is such a strange thing to wrap your head around.
It's
The
so,
fact that it just blocks that signal completely.
yeah. When I was in chronic pain, that's all I thought about was the first thing in the morning. I thought about the pain, and I got to get a pill, a couple of pills, and the last thing at bedtime, get a
And then,
pill.
yeah, middle of the
Because I'm
night, you're
hurting.
waking up in pain, so you're thinking about the pain.
But
It's like-
now I never think about it anymore. It's like that happened to somebody else. It's not even my problem
Right.
anymore. So it's wonderful. Can I actually control the stimulator therapy?
Yes.
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 You can turn it on or off or up or down. And there's different programs like the tingles or the silent, or sometimes there's a different parts of the body like you can focus on. So
Yes.
yeah, you can have a remote control and you can control them. Will I set off store security detectors? No. Right?
Right.
I haven't set off any yet.
No, and the airport scanner, I don't set that off either. Does
No.
anybody?
No.
I've never set off an
Right.
airport scanner.
The first time I went to the airport, I tried to explain to the security that I have an implant, and they're like, "I don't want to hear it, buddy. Just go through." And I did, and it didn't set anything off. So I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to tell that story anymore."
Yeah.
They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it.
Right.
And will my location be tracked in some way?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
No. I had asked the stimulator rep that because when she first, the way they used to control the controllers, like just the evolution in stimulators, even in the last 5 years since I've had mine, is amazing.
Yeah.
But they used to have to connect to my battery when they would change the program.
Yes.
Mhm.
Now they do it without actually touching my battery.
Yes.
And I looked at her, I was like, uh-oh, does this mean like your child can do this from the backseat of the car
Right.
if he gets a hold of this thing?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you have to be in the room,
Yeah.
like within a certain distance, and
Yes.
I have to have this code, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, phew. So
Yes.
they can't just
Everything
start
tracks
changing
us.
programs.
Why worry about that?
I mean, all I
Right.
know, you can track my phone. And
Right, exactly.
Apple knows where I am all the time.
Right,
I'm
right.
sure they do. But
They do. You pass Kohl's and it's like a Kohl's coupon
yes,
clicks up.
right.
It knows,
How
right.
They do that.
Right.
They're tracking it. It's true.
And it works.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's good enough.
Right.
Well, great, everybody. I'm so glad y'all could come. I'm so glad that we're helping everybody, and we're all part of a team, and we're helping a lot of people. So I'm really happy for that.
One team, one fight.
That's right. It's a fight against chronic pain.
Yes.
So advanced pain care, pain stops here. Right?
And he
Yeah.
stops here.